What's good, people? It's your boy, Icarus Gray. And this is Gray Area Anime. Back with another one. Back. Oh, wow. I cut my music off on me. Whew. But I'm back. And here we are with another Teach Me Senpai. And I've brought back the one, the only BibleStudyGirl.
Hello.
There you go.
Yeah,
you did right
I got
this
it.
time.
Yeah, it's my hello. That's how I'll say hi. Hi, guys.
So today, we're here to walk through Ascendance of a Bookworm, episode 2, or chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
All right. So, like I said, new format of the way we're doing this. I'll be asked questions about our experience, and I can better assess and do these things and be a good teacher to know where I'm teaching. That makes sense to you people. I don't know if it does.
I don't know. We'll see.
But I'm really enjoying this series, though.
I am too.
Hilarious.
I don't know if it's this episode. Let me look.
She has notes.
No, it was not this episode that we're talking about, so I'll save that comment for the next one. But yeah, I am thoroughly enjoying it. I'm getting deep in. I'm sucked in now.
What was the title of this episode?
Life improvements and slates. Life improvements and slates. Do you want me to do can I start talking
Go
about
ahead.
the episode? Okay.
Go ahead.
So I know when we talked about chapter 1 or the first episode, we could not remember mine's former name, and mine is the little girl main character.
Mm-hmm.
But they referenced her former name in this episode,
Mhm.
Urano.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, ooh, let me write that down.
What order did you write them down in?
She said, she didn't say the first and last at first. She just referred to herself as Urano. And then later she said, I think it's Matasso Urano.
Okay. I'm just making, because they do it differently because it's last, then first.
I know, that's why.
So that's why I had to double check.
She referred to herself by her first name first before she ever said the full name.
Right.
But this episode was so great because she's stuck in this world that is nothing like the world that she grew up in. It's very primitive. And so this episode starts off with the family going out in the forest to pick fruits that look like avocados. She was really intrigued when the sister and the dad came back in with the fruit. And the mom is like, well, we're getting ready to press the fruit to get the oil. And her first thought when she saw that was that in her former life, she made shampoos and stuff with her mom. And this episode, when she woke up that day, she was freaking out because she hadn't washed her hair in a week. So she's scratching her head, freaking out. And we also found out in this episode that she's 5. We guesstimated that she was 4 last episode, but we found out in this episode that she's 5. So just imagine a little 5-year-old coming out of the blue like, I need to get my hair washed. Like, it was weird and random because that's not what the mind that they knew would typically do. Like, she's a grown woman.
I think at this part they hadn't realized like how different.
They hadn't addressed until later on. They didn't address how different she was. So her mom is like, oh, you want to help us press the oil out of this fruit? Great. She's trying to explain to her what she needs to do. But in her excitement to get back to what's familiar with her, she just starts smashing.
She turned into a kid, which was like the funniest part of the episode, as I was wondering whether the body she's in and the age she's in and her now are fighting with one another.
Yeah.
Because she did it and immediately knew what she needed to do, but like she was so enamored, like, I ain't listening to y'all.
Right, because I'm a grown lady in a little kid body, and so she really gets into it. But, you know, after she smashes it, she realizes, oh, yeah, I should have listened to my mom and taken my time and put the cloth over it so I don't make such a big mess. So that was interesting. After they get the oil, though, out of this fruit, like she said, she is wanting to make her shampoo. That's what she knows as an adult to do.
Mm-hmm.
So her sister gives her this oil and she pours it in the water and starts washing her hair, and everybody's like, what are you doing?
And then look, and she goes, why does your hair look like the night sky?
Yeah, why do
now?
you look so great? And she's like, well, your hair can look like this too. So she washes everybody's hair. And it's funny because she washes her sister's hair and they're like, ooh, like, you look great. And so the mom is like,
hold on, wait.
Yeah, let me get on in on this too. So that was fun to see them with this new experience. And I guess the whole time I'm watching it, I'm thinking, what would I be thinking if my 5-year-old was like, I don't know that I would be so receptive to my 5-year-old.
I birthed myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what, like, I feel like you should be like, I birthed myself. That should be your first
That should
thought.
be my response.
Yes.
It should be. Because I will say, when I was her age, people value my opinion and they would listen to me, it's just weird to me because I work with kids. Yeah. I do listen to them and I value their opinion, but if they did something that was completely like, we've never done this before, this doesn't make sense to me, I don't know. But they were very open and receptive to the things that she offered. Mm-hmm. The episode is called Life Improvements and Slates because she has so many different improvements in her life in this episode. Immediately after this, the family goes to the festival.
Yeah, this is immediately after this. They go to the festival.
They go to the festival. Can we talk about the fact that her body, we talked about in the last episode, the mom carried her to the market. Yeah. And she's thinking to herself, like, why are you carrying me? I can do this. But in this episode, she realizes,
no, I can't.
She realizes that she can't. Like, in her mind, in her former body, she could, but she realizes just how frail Mind's body is because she walks down the steps and she is done. Just walking down the steps completely takes her out.
Yeah, and that was before. That was when, her and Turi were gonna go.
Take the dad.
Take the dad his food, whatever he forgot.
Yeah, he forgot.
He forgot something. Something that he had their mom make, and so they're like, well, like any kid, like, dad forgot his lunch or whatever. Let's go take it to him. They get outside and they meet all the other little boys and characters who would be pivotal in the series. Yeah. There's only one of all the other brothers' names I don't remember except for Lutz
and Faye.
Oh, Faye is the oldest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Faye is the oldest.
Faye's the oldest brother, and he likes Turi.
Yeah,
Mind's sister.
Which it's so cute when they go into and it's called like chibi style.
Okay, I was gonna ask you because when Mind has thoughts, the illustrations change. It's not the same illustration. It's more bubbly looking.
So when they make them like smaller and they're kind of like, oh, they look like a little doll and they're cute, a smaller version of someone that's already small, chibi is what that is. Devin has a whole Instagram where he was making little chibi characters and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Like the Devin I know and that you know?
Yes.
Okay. Didn't know that.
That's the thing. And that's one of the styles they use in a lot of different styles. It's just the cute aside. So, what the chibi style is like, it's kind of like the mini style. Like we have these things, Funko Pops, which would be like little characters. They're basically chibi designed, styled things.
So that was it's a great introduction to, like you said, all the kids, the boys that they hang out with. And Faye actually ends up carrying her to their dad is a captain.
He's the captain of the
gate,
soldiers of that gate.
That work the gate, because their city is surrounded by the gate. So he's the captain. And so Faye actually ends up taking her all the way to the gate, carrying her. Lutz volunteers. Lutz is the same age as mine.
Which shows that she's really, really small for her age.
She's so tiny, because when you see them beside each other, you're like, wow.
I can't believe she's this small at this age. I think this episode does a really great job of illustrating how advanced or not advanced they are.
Yeah, they're very behind. It's very primitive.
Like even more primitive than you would think. And I thought about this in the time where I mean, you could think about slavery or any of these time periods where not everyone had books or whatever in their home.
Right.
You can even take it to when, you know, there were homes that you were considered rich if you had encyclopedias in your home.
100%. It did make me think about how life has gotten so advanced and so busy. Their life consists of, which I think they kind of address, well, they address it in the next episode. We'll talk about like the lifestyle and we start to see really what day-to-day life is for them. So they get to the captain's gate. When they're there, we're introduced to
his soldier, his subordinate, I guess.
Yes.
Otto.
Otto is a handsome young man, but he's like an adult. He's not a child.
And so they're there, and he comes in with the reports, and of course the reports are on paper or parchment,
right? And so mine is like, wait a minute, what's that? Not only are the reports on parchment, but she recognizes, oh, this is the writing symbol of this. Like, this is the...
Like, they can write.
Right, they can write, yeah.
Like, why did I not think of just, instead of just trying to acquire books, I need to figure out how to acquire paper.
Right, and so she's like, Dad, you know, what's this? And...
It's like, it's parchment.
And she's like, can you buy me some?
Like, no, I forget, like, I don't know if it's a sheet or how much is worth a month's salary.
It's a month's salary. Yeah. He's like, no, I'm not buying something that expensive for a kid.
She's like, to which then Otto comes in and saves the day and says, well, you can have my slate, which is chalkboard, essentially.
Yeah, we skipped over the festival.
Wasn't this one, I thought.
No, the festival is definitely.
It's after this, though. Because they do that part, because she meets him. They do this part first. He says, I'll bring you some slate later. And then it's festival time. And they arrive at the festival. And when she...
Okay. So he said, I will bring you some slate. He doesn't bring it. They end up going to the festival. And she was hoping that she would be sick. She doesn't want to go to this festival because she's asking, like, what is the festival about? And they're like, you're going to have fun. You're going to enjoy it.
This is the festival where we slaughter a pig, we break it down, and we cook every part of it.
Right, as a community. And it made me think about growing up, Mom said they used to butcher hogs and stuff and, you know, getting all that stuff taken care of.
Grandpa gave me I think it was like a foot or something. I can't remember what it was. It's like, but it was something like, it was a piece of, and I like played with it like for a while because I'm weird that way.
So it really makes me think of like, they really are into community. They all work together. It's a good show.
It's the old farmers community kind of thing.
It is. And I also like, she gets to go outside of the city gates. She gets excited because her life up to this point, being mine, has been in the city gates. And now she finally gets to see that there's a forest.
Yeah, the air is clear. So it's even juxtaposed to it kind of being like city life.
It is like city and here's the country. So they go for the ceremony. for the festival. They tell her, they sit her on a log, like a stump, like out of the way. And she's like, that's fine with me. Like,
because they were like, we don't want you getting them, because they don't understand currently that the stuff that she gets interested in is stuff that's pertaining to books.
Yeah, it's
not like they see it as, okay, mischievous kid that's just getting into stuff.
Right. And
like, sit over here. We ain't got time.
Yeah, like, we don't want you getting in the way. And she's like, bro, I'm not trying to kill this pig. And so you see her dad, you see the boys from the neighborhood running around.
But while she's sitting, much like in every episode thus far, she comes up with an idea.
Right.
She says, well, if she said, throw away poverty. Down with poverty.
Down with poverty, because she's like, why is paper so expensive in this world that I'm living in?
Yeah.
Down with poverty. I'm with her.
And she was like, I'm too small to cut down trees.
Right. Because she wants to make her paper.
So what should I do? And then she basically just starts going through, papyrus. That would be a great thing to do. She leveled up in her thinking.
That is her jam. That's her thought process. So what happens? Right. What happens, brother?
So she sitting up here thinking. She looks up and a pig is running right towards her, which you can just see from a mile away. But at least we can.
Yeah, you saw that, but I was like, I was not expecting this pig to come.
Because when it starts running around and they're chasing after it, and it looks like it's about to come towards her, but they get it way before it would have gotten to her. And at this point, you're thinking, okay, they caught it and they're gonna, I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but not what happens. And what happens is Dad Gunther takes his long spear, stabs that mug. They don't show that it's being stabbed. They just show blood, and then they show mine.
A huge pool. You see huge pool of blood.
And she's like, pass out time.
Yeah.
I'm out. And she wakes up, and she's back at the gate with Otto, and he's like, your dad was like, you passed out, told me to just watch you until they came back from the festivities and everything, that you could just wait here. She's like, oh crap, well, I didn't want to be there anyway, kind of thing. I'm fine with that. And he goes and gets the slate and stuff for her, and he's like, well, here, I'll teach you some things. And he writes her name down, and she's like, oh, letter, yatta, or excitement. Yay.
Yeah. So she gets really, really excited. So she practices her name for a while, and then she starts writing, not in their language, not in the language of the new.
She starts writing from her past in terms of, she starts writing in kanji. And she writes and does all these things so long, somehow she burns herself out to where she passes out again.
She passes out again.
She gets a fever.
And this is another indication that her body that she's currently in is so frail, because she's literally just sitting here writing and it takes her out.
She burns out at every expense of energy.
Every time.
Yeah, so that happens, and then they take her home. She gets to take this. I think she takes the slate and the slate pencil home with her, because I think that's when her dad, and she's like, tells him like how thankful she is for Otto or something like that. I think is this episode. It's the next one.
It's the next one.
Okay. So they get home, and she's like, okay, I've got my plan. I just now need to get the things. Oh, no. She gets home. She's in the bed. She has her slate. She's writing on it. And she's like, I've had a good idea. And what was it?
Before I passed out, I was thinking about something awesome. What was it?
And then that was the end of the episode.
Yeah. So that was the end of the episode. It was a very good episode. It was, you get to learn so much more about the community, about the people that she's interacting with. Gave me some hope.
Yeah.
Some hope. Some excitement for her.
Yeah.
She's just trying to figure out how to adapt to the new life that she's in. And I can appreciate that struggle. She's weighing the pros and cons, like, What can I get away with? How can I make this work? It's a great show. I think each episode gets better and better.
Okay. Do you have any questions from this episode?
Well, I asked you the questions about the different cartoon style.
Yeah.
And I asked you lots of questions during the episode. Like I was saying, do you want me to ask you this question now or later? Because I wasn't familiar with the writing styles and what is the name of the writing style?
Or kanji, excuse me.
Kanji is the name of the writing style. It's just a different, anime is different in a lot of ways, but then it's really not. If they have a good story, you're just into the story.
Yep.
The biggest challenge for me though is I'm a multitasker, and reading, it requires my full attention.
Because you have to read and then you have to be like intrinsically I'm trained enough to where like I'll miss stuff, but like I know certain words. So then like I said, if I hear 90, I know that's what. So I'm like, okay, look up what's going on. Like, all right, Gato. And you gotta look up for that, ski is like that can also be I love you. Kawaii is cute. So when he was like talking about his cute daughters and he was exclaiming about them, it's little small stuff that like I can jump back in, but it is something intensive because you have to read. You have to basically read real quick, watch to get the context of everything because context is key.
It is,
which is why I don't like dubbed, because a lot of the context can be lost sometimes.
You have to pay attention to it. Like you have to watch it, and that helps you understand it. So I don't have as many questions because I'm just engaged. I'm learning. I'm trying to figure out this entire world that I've been rolled into. But it's fascinating, and I would recommend this series to anyone, even if they don't love books. But if you have an appreciation for books, it's really making me think about, man, how blessed I am that I can read anytime, anywhere, it's so accessible, and she's having to fight to get what she loves. That's what I love about it. Like
so. I did want to note that this is a type of anime, or there's I don't know, there's not the isekai is the name of it, as I explained, for like life in another world, if you're reincarnated, this kind of thing. But it's also reminiscent of the way they've been doing a lot of the isekais recently, which is place you into a place that is not modern. There's one I watched called Reincarnation, or The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Which this guy gets reincarnated as a slime. Like in most RPGs, a slime will be like the first weak enemy that you fight. It's like a little.
What is an RPG?
Role playing game.
See, those are the things that I don't know. That's why you need me here to ask these questions. No, go ahead. We're making it accessible for the people, and by people I mean me. Go ahead.
Specifically, it would be a JRPG, which is a Japanese role playing game, which means that there's a traditional difference between the two. But anyway, so he turns into this character, and he's able to learn all of these different things by absorbing people. So like he absorbs. Or things in general. So you can absorb like grass, and he knows, okay, I know all the properties. Now I can make this. And it's interesting to see because that's what she's going to be for them. She's going to be this sponge because she has all of this knowledge. And as soon as I figure out, okay, I can put this and this together. This is how you do this and this. I already knew this and this. She's going to improve the quality of life of all those around her, which would lead to bigger successes and stuff. And that's a style. Dr. Stone is another one, like I said, there to where it's all about if you were displaced in time with the knowledge that you have now in the past.
Which makes so much sense when you think about the title of the episode or chapter being life improvements and slates. It's not just life improvement for her, it's life improvement for everyone around her. So I think that's why these conversations are important. You're taking the mystery out of anime and you're giving people a chance. Like, even you can, just for you to further explain, this is just a great jumping off point if you know nothing about anime, because you have such a wealth of knowledge that I don't have, and you can spin it to someone else like you may like this.
Yes.
I think
if
that
you
was
like I said, if you have ever had the thought, like especially now, I think a lot of us have had, I've heard a lot of, man, I couldn't have made it in slave times. I would have been this person, that person. These are the types of animes that answer those thought processes about like how would you handle this?
Right.
Because these would be the issues that you would now have to deal with. Like a lot of us be like, I would have done this or I would have done that. And I'm like, but you're also saying it without, like, you don't have Gatorade or these electrolytes things. Like, you can run, like you said, but they got horses, fam. And like,
but also
the terrains are different.
Correct.
There's no.
You are saying that, and you are not fully immersed in this world. You're saying that with your understanding of the world as it is now, but you weren't. If you were physically put back in that world, yes, you would have the same mindset, but it's still going to be a completely different experience. You're going to have to learn how to maneuver in that world.
I mean, there will be no, like, literally, it's like throwing you in the middle of nowhere, because you don't have the same landmarks.
Right.
You wouldn't have any of that.
None. No cell phones,
no nothing.
No access to information other than the people that are really around you. Yeah. So it's a completely different world. It made me think of all those things. It's a great anime.
And it's not like, so I think about this in terms of dealing with different stuff. So like there's a time where she's like, whether it's like, oh, it's late or we don't go and do stuff because they don't have electricity.
Right.
Like that's not a thing that they're doing right now. So think about that, like back in the day where you would have had to make a fire. And in making that fire, you're alerting everybody to where you are.
Yeah.
Because the smoke is up in the air. You're not only alerting yourself, you're also alerting animals who could have hunted you at that time, because it's not like, I need to stay away from these cars and things that could hit me. So it's just interesting to be in this world where the one thing that you're trying to do is one of the most difficult things. That is why we began to grow rapidly as a society, is because you were able to spread knowledge to more people.
Correct.
So, but anyway,
chapter 2 is excellent.
So, with that being said, remind yourselves, guys, we have a Twitter. It's Gray Area Anime, the number 1. Instagram, Gray Area Anime. An email, grayareaanime@gmail.com, and Facebook, where we would like for you guys to go like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time for another Teach Me Senpai. Thank you, Bible Study Girl, for coming with us. Also, be sure to go and check out the Bible Study Girl podcast that I executive produce. We got a lot of stuff coming for both of these platforms in the Electric Diva Studio Network. So, also OTMMG. It's going.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, y'all.